we hear them talk about the why, right? About your why. And you could, I call it your purpose. Like, what's your purpose as a coach? What do you stand for? What's your mission? What are your goals, in life? And, for me in that first year, my purpose, like I didn't understand the bigger picture of Beachbody, but what I did understand by watching other coaches is that if I worked hard enough and I worked on my own transformation, that I could bring my wife home from work. And I knew that the exact number was $10,000-ish a year, and I could bring her home from work. So my purpose was to help enough people so that I could make an income with Beachbody to where she didn't have to work anymore. So I was very clear on that. If people ask me, why are you a Beachbody coach? I would clearly say, because I love how I feel doing these workouts. I love Shakeology. I love helping people. And I know that if I help enough people get results like I'm getting, that I can bring my wife home from work. So I was very clear on that. There was no hesitation when I invited somebody, when I talked to somebody about that. And so that is what it kind of means to like know what your purpose is as a coach, or have that clearly defined. And that'll grow and develop as you go through your coach journey. An example of that is Jennifer Greenberg. I'm going to talk about Jennifer just for a minute. Raise your hand if you know who Jennifer Greenberg is. If you don't, you need to follow her. Okay. So I remember talking to Jennifer Greenberg as a brand new coach. And I remember I was in this room right here, pacing back and forth, nervous as heck, because she's like my third coach. And I'm like, hey, so what do you want to do with Beachbody? Like, what are your goals? And like, I've never achieved any goals with Beachbody really yet at this point, but I'm asking her about it because that's what they tell you to do, right? And I remember her telling me it would be nice to be able to make an extra $50 a month so that I can get my nails done or go buy a pair of shoes without her husband, getting upset at her, right? So that was her goal. That was her purpose as a coach. It wasn't a huge thing, but she wanted to do that small thing. So, but the thing is, she loved P90X. She loved Shakeology. Her and I had built a friendship and a relationship on Facebook. And then she was clear about making that extra money so she wouldn't have to ask her husband. So when she's moving forward into her business, she hit that goal, like $50. You guys know that you guys can hit $50. Heck, you can sell one challenge pack that's $160 and you make $50 at that point, right? So she hit that goal, and then I remember her next goal, she wanted to fly, I can't remember who it was, but she wanted to fly from Tennessee down to Florida to see some family. So that was her next goal. She set a goal to purchase that airline ticket. And so that was her, that was her goal to go for. And so there weren't these huge goals like be retire or become a mom, nothing like that. So she had these little steps: get shoes, get my nails done. The next one, buy an airplane ticket. The next one was she was so upset at her work. She had this beat up chair. She worked in an office and they wouldn't buy her a new chair. And it was like tipping over. It was torn open and like duct taped. And so she's like, you know what? I'm going to buy my own chair at work with my Beachbody money. I'm sitting here every day anyway. I'm going to buy a chair and make sure that I'm comfortable at my job. So she set a goal to buy a chair. She just set these little goals. And the thing is those goals progressed as she hit each little step. And then I remember one conversation when it got real serious for her, because that first year, she only hit Success Club like 3 times in 2011. Success Club 5, like 3 times out of the whole year. Because those goals were little, right? Those are little goals. It's not something that will make you lose sleep, stay up late, get rid of other hobbies or whatever. But when it got serious for Jennifer, it was when she came to the realization on her own through reading personal development that her and Michael were in their 30s and had not had a baby yet, or a child, because Michael worked like 70 hours overtime as a cop and she was at work all day long. And so they didn't want to have a baby and raise a baby because they're not home to take care of the baby and to raise the child. So she's like, hey, you know what? Like and at this point I'd left my job. I mean, yeah, Gabby and I both left our jobs. This is like a year in. And so she sees me living this life. And she knows me. We started together, so we're very relatable in that aspect. And so she said, hey, you know what? This is why we haven't had a baby. And she set a goal. I'm going to become a stay-at-home mom. I'm going to build this business so I don't have to work, and we're going to have a baby. So she did that, and they have a little baby now, little Mikey, and she left her job, so that was a bigger step. But when she set that goal, that was the year she hit Success Club 5 every single year, and she went 5-star diamond because she had that bigger goal, that bigger reason, that bigger purpose as a coach. If you have a goal to get your nails done, that's good. It's going to help you start your business, but it's not going to help you be driven enough to really build a solid business because you don't have that deep purpose. You're not going to have that deep level of commitment. So she set that goal. She hit Success Club every single month that year. She went 5-star diamond. She became an elite coach, and she left her full-time job, and she had her baby Mikey. She had baby Mikey, went on maternity leave, and then never went back to work, right? So that's kind of how the progression went with that. And then the next thing, so now that she's done that, she's got to continue to build or redefine her purpose or her why, because now she's home, she's got a baby. So what's the next thing to drive Jennifer? So the next thing was, and the funny thing is we all have these limiting beliefs in our head, right, in our mind. And I remember talking with Michael and Jennifer, and Michael's, he's working like 70 hours of overtime as a cop in one of the most dangerous areas of Knoxville. And he's like, you know what? I've been working at this for so long. And he's like, I have $1 million pension. If I just work all these years, I have $1 million pension. I'm never going to walk away from that. That's $1 million. I'm not ever going to walk away from that. So the next goal, with some convincing and some personal development and some long chats in the hot tub at Summit and at Leadership and on Success Club trips, they set the goal for him to retire. And then he retired as well from being a cop and walked away from that $1 million pension. So that was the thing that helped drive them. And I'll tell you what the coolest thing is Jennifer sent me a text. It was a Facebook message. And her next goal now is $1 million earner with Beachbody. And she's going to be we set a goal, and she's going to be $1 million earner by, I think it was March of next year, so that she can go on stage next year as $1 million earner with Beachbody. See how cool that is, how she went from wanting $50 to setting a goal to be a millionaire with Beachbody. And it's not about being a millionaire. It's about the person she's grown into. The shy girl from Knoxville who's grown into that person, that leader, who now has thousands of coaches, a part of the Fit for Life family, and many of you guys are part of that family as well. So I want you guys to make sure that you get clear on your focus, on what your mission is, what your goals are, and realize that Jennifer and I and any of these other coaches are no different, other than that we have really found that thing that drove us and made us want to become, better. Had that thing that made us want to drive ourselves, to work on the business. So, my progression kind of went the same. I wanted to bring Gabby home. I would do anything it took to bring her home from work. Once I started to realize that was going to happen, I was like, holy smokes, like if she's coming home, the heck, I could come home, and then and it just progressed like that. And so many people ask me now, like, why do you still hit Success Club 10 every month? Why do you still do all the vital behaviors, even though the team is as big as it is? Number one is I'm a person of my word. I said to myself that I'll never miss Success Club 10, no matter how big the team gets. I'll do whatever it takes to be that leading, that example of what to do for the brand new coach to build their business. But also I have a goal to retire my parents first from their full-time. My mom's already retired. She works for me. She's not retired. She works for me from home on her own hours, but I'm going to retire my dad within 2 years, and then Gabby's parents as well after that. And I'm driven to do that because, my dad just had a knee replacement surgery because he's been on his knees fixing copy machines, back in the day, typewriters, for the past 35 years. And that guy, I know he raised me to be who I am, and he loves the outdoors. He loves fishing. He loves camping. So I want him doing that instead of fixing copy machines for the rest of his life. So I will show up and continue to build this business so that they can have that as well. So it's important that you find out what your purpose is. And then here's the key that I want you guys to know. You can't wait for your business to become like that, because it won't just show up one day and you're not going to just, it's not going to be just one day plop down on you and say, boom, Barton, you have a team of 28,000 coaches. Congrats. You know, you did a few days of PD and a few invites. It's not going to happen like that. You've got to live that life of purpose today without having the results. You've got to show up today as if you already have it. And the way I do that is I clearly visualize every single morning that I already have, like right now, for example, I already have my parents retired. You know, it's already done. The year that I went to, that we were in the top 10, you know, and we got to go to Italy. I got to speak at that Super Saturday, and corporate came to announce that. And they're like, how does it feel? And honestly, guys, I had like not much emotion at all. And here's the reason why. Because I told them, I was like, well, I should be super excited, but I've already lived this day for 365 days. I've already been the top 10 coach for 365 days. So what that shows is that I already saw myself at that point from January 1st, that year that I made that decision to be a top 10 coach in a top 10 team. So, you know, the same thing's going to happen when you walk away from, if your job is to be a full-time coach, you know, like Kendra, like Brigitte, like Jennifer Greenberg, like Jenny Haushin, who just retired from her job last week. You know, I'm sure they enjoyed their time off, but they've already felt what it's going to be like because they clearly envisioned that before it happened. So what I want you guys to do is write these down. If you have a little notepad, I want you to write this down. You have to live your life of purpose today. You got to live the life of purpose today. You can't wait till you're a full-time coach to be like, I'm living my life of purpose. It works. I made it. You got to start living that life today. You got to live your life of purpose today. So the next thing is I want to teach you guys how to create that. And I talked about it briefly on a video, but I just want to expound on it a little bit today. So how do we do that? Write these little steps down. Maybe like I'm going to say 2 words together pretty much, like do one and then the arrow. So your core values are who you are inside, what you believe in, what you stand for, who you are. Your core values create your thoughts, okay? So maybe write core values, arrow, thoughts, okay? And then, yes, like, oh, you already wrote that down. Is that Shane? I can't see behind it. Oh, yeah, Shane watched the video this morning. So your thoughts will create your vision. Like if you can think and believe that you can be a full-time coach, or that you could be $1 million earner, a top 10 coach, if you can do that, if you can think about that and imagine that, you're going to have the vision for that. So your thoughts then create your vision. So thoughts create the vision. And this is all going to tie into what I taught you about Jennifer and about what I've gone through. When you have that vision for your life, so you wake up, you create that vision through your thoughts, through your core beliefs, your thoughts, and then your vision. Like I envision it. I have it written down. I envision when I went to pay off my house. When I wanted to pay off my house, it seemed impossible number-wise to do it in the amount of time I wanted. But I sat in my hot tub every morning before I worked, and I looked at my house, and I looked like a crazy person because I would talk to myself outside at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, man, Scotty, you did it. You don't owe a thing on this house, and you're only 32 years old. And my neighbors probably saw me doing that. And they're like, what? This guy's crazy. But I did that every single morning. My thoughts created that vision. So I clearly had that vision of what I wanted. When you have vision, and here's your next arrow, vision creates focus. Okay? Vision creates focus. And we all know, or we've all heard it before, but I want to emphasize it into your Beachbody business. Think of the magnifying glass, like when you're a kid and you're if you're burning an ant or a leaf. I mean, if you're burning a leaf or something, right? You can't burn a hole in that leaf unless you get the focus point with the sun coming through it. You get the focus point really small. So when you have that vision, you create that focus, and your focus has got to be really tight on whatever it is that your goal is, that your vision is. You know, if it's like Barton, and in 3 years you're going to retire from the military, and you want this to be your full-time job as a 6-figure income, you've got to be focused on that vision of having that happen in those 3 years, so that when everything else comes in, all the trials, all the things that are going to try to hold you back, you're focused on that thing, so you can keep that light burning on your end goal of burning that hole in that leaf or retiring in 3 years when you leave the military. So remember that vision creates your focus. Here's what focus does. And this is where I had everything wrong. Remember, I thought people were not disciplined. And I was like, here banging my fist on my head, like, why can't people be disciplined? Why can't people show up like I'm showing up? Here's what happens. When you have that focus, that's going to create the actions. That's where you're going to be like Barton is right now, or Jay is right now, where Barton's talking to every single person that comes into his office. I can tell you that's why Barton went diamond in 2 months. Is he was so focused on his 3-year goal of retiring, making this full-time job, that every single person that came in, his thoughts are in the right spot. He's got his vision clear. He's got focus, and then he's taking action. So he takes advantage, I guess you could say, of every opportunity that comes in front of him to make a conversation and invite somebody to be a part of this with him. And that confidence of knowing exactly where he's going is what attracts people in and makes them say, like, hey, you know what? I can tell this guy knows where he's going. So if you don't have that clear vision or that clear focus, they can sense that. If you're not sure about it or you're not sure where you're going, they can sense if you have that doubt. So you've got to become very strong in that conviction. So remember, focus creates actions. And those actions every single day, they're not very difficult. There's the 10 steps. I have like 10 steps laid out. Or you could use, like we taught on the team call about Facebook the other day, I showed you like 5 steps you could do every day for your business. Those actions, when you do those with that focus and that intensity, with the right mindset, that's what creates your company. You're the CEO of your own. Each one of you guys is the CEO of your own business and your own company. And those actions that you take create your company. And the company that you create, the business that you create, the team that you create is what leaves or creates the impact that you make as a Beachbody coach, or the legacy that you leave as a Beachbody coach. Okay, give me a thumbs up if does that make sense? Okay, so I want you guys to know that that's something, and I want to help reiterate this. I'm kind of glad that video didn't work now, so we could because this is the most we've had on a team call in a long time. So we're going to take advantage of this, because you guys are the lead. You guys are on this call, so you guys are the leaders of this team. So I want you guys to know I have a clear vision of, in 2 years when I retire my parents, that this team is 100,000 coaches strong. Some people look at that and say that's crazy, but I don't think it's crazy at all, because I know the type of coaches that we have on this, and I'm willing to go through the growth that's going to be necessary, the personal growth that's going to be necessary to be able to help lead and mentor you guys and guide you guys so that we can have a team like that. So I want you guys to know I'm crystal clear and focused on that aspect, and I know that that's going to happen. But what we all need to do together, I'm kind of that soft-spoken guy that doesn't like confrontation. What I want to talk to you guys about today is we have to raise our standards, right? How many of you guys listen to Tony Robbins? One thing that he says, like in every video, is he says you've got to rate, if you want a better life, or in our instance as Beachbody coach, if you want a better business, or you want to make more impact or have more influence or help more people, it's as simple as you got to raise your standards. You got to raise your standards for what you expect from, not from your upline coach or what you expect from Carl Deichler or expect from Beachbody as a whole. You got to raise the standards of what you expect from yourself. And so that's what I will strive to do as well. But I need you guys as well to each raise your standards as well on what you expect from yourself, what you expect from your coaches, what you expect from your team, because that's what's going to help bring results and make a true impact, long-lasting impact in your business, is when you can create that, when you can become that person that expects more from yourself. And I guess I feel blessed because Gabby's been blasting Tony Robbins all day long while she's cleaning house, while she's cooking. And, we all know the things that we should be doing, right? We should be reaching out to 2 to 5 new people a day. We should be reading all the personal development, growing ourselves. We should be inviting every single person that we come in contact to to join our team or to become a Beachbody coach to improve their health or their mindset or their fitness or their financial. We should be inviting these people. And I know each one, I'm looking at my cul-de-sac. I know each one of you guys have like 15 people you can look out your front window that you haven't invited to change their life, right? We should talk to them, but like Tony Robbins says, we need to turn those shoulds into must. We must talk to those people. We must share with them, what we have to offer at least and feel obligated for that. So I think that's one way that we can each raise our standards, is to do that, is to talk to these people that we should be talking to and giving them the opportunity to change their life completely. So let's remember that. Remember to be able to, to be able to do those things every single day, those actions that are going to create your company, which is going to create your legacy or your impact, is we've got to make sure that you get focused every single day on what is your purpose, what is your goal, why are you doing this, so you're not floating adrift. And I have a quote. I have a quote that I want to share with each of you guys, because I know there's a lot. I know most of you guys in person. I've talked to most of you, at least my coaches, on the phone at least once, or I've met. You've messaged me before. There's this image I want you guys to envision right now. If you've kind of been on the fence and haven't been all in yet, all in is in posting on social media, engaging people, inviting people, doing all the 3 vital behaviors, listening to every team call, every national wake up call, starting your own team calls. If you haven't been all in with those things yet, I want you to think of this analogy. And it's something that I always thought about, because I was a super shy person, and I'm still kind of awkward in person. Like, unless we're talking about Beachbody, I can only converse for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, crap, I don't know what to talk about next, right? Unless it's about Beachbody, I can go forever. I'm that awkward guy. So in the beginning, for me, this visual really helped me. I want you to picture a ship in a harbor. Maybe you've seen this image. But picture this ship anchored up to a dock, this big, a ship that probably took months to build, really elegant looking, big sails. I want you to envision this right now. And it's tied into the harbor, and the quote goes something like this: a ship in a harbor is safe, but that's not what it was designed to do. Right? So those of you that aren't going out and getting clear on your purpose and creating that vision, doing these steps we talked about, you're that ship, that beautiful ship that's tied into the harbor and not doing what you were meant to do, which is to make a difference in people's lives. Like, we're all put on this earth, I believe, to make a difference in some way or another. And I don't think it's luck. I don't think it's random that you guys are Beachbody coaches. Like, this is the thing that you guys have, the tool, the vehicle that you guys have to create a better life for you and your family. But it's also that tool that God or the universe gave you to help you make a difference in other people's lives, to leave a positive impact or imprint in this world. So that when you die someday, you don't say, hey, I really rocked that cubicle for 50 years, and I was incredible at showing up to that cubicle every single day. It's so that you can end your life and be like, some people really changed their lives because of my example. So I want you guys to think that this is that you guys are that ship, and you guys got to get out into that ocean, because that's what you were designed to do. And it's going to be rough. The seas get rough. But you can weather the storm, right? I can only think of one. There's only a few ships that have ever sunk, and I don't think it's going to be you guys. So I want you guys to think of that. If you're that coach that hasn't really gotten out there yet, you're that beautiful ship. I want you guys to know that. Each one of you guys to know that. And so just set sail. Learn how to steer it as you go. And the winds are going to help push you. But all you really got to do is just point the sail in the right direction. And the way to point that sail in the right direction is everything I talked about at the beginning of this call, of living your life, of really determining what your core values are, who you are, and going through each of those steps about how your thoughts will create your vision, and your vision will create that focus. That's you pointing the sail. Okay? So that's what I want to share with you guys today. Last minute, off the cuff, because GoPro is a genius on that. But I want you guys to order that. But what I want to do right now is I have about 15 minutes. I am going to do something real quick. I think I muted you guys where you can't unmute yourself. So I changed it where if you guys have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask me. Let's do like a 15-minute Q&A. And I know Barton's going to be the first to talk. Hey, if you're that ship that's tied up, this is your chance to break free right now, to get out of your comfort zone and ask a question. I'm going to wait.
Okay, so I have a question. Oh, did I just walk over Lacey?
Yes, you did.
Okay, let's hear Lacey. Let's hear Lacey first. Who was the girl that talked?
That was.
What's a good question to know?
I just had a quick question about who do you use to run your website?
I didn't hear. I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Who runs your hosting site for your website? Who did you use that, and do you use WordPress for your blog?
Oh, Christina. I was flipping through my things too to see who was talking. So Christina. So my blog. Let me just talk about my blog real fast. It sucked so bad when I first made it. It was on Blogspot, and it was Scotty's Over the Top at blogspot.com, and it had no thought put into it. I would find a funny picture or a quote, and I would just put it in there with no words, no links. So just know that you don't have to be perfect to start. It started like that, but right now it is a WordPress blog, obviously, and then it's hosted by GoDaddy. And I think I pay like $48 a year to host it. So, yes. Okay, who else has a question?
I have a question.
Can you say who your name is?
This is Leslie.
Hey,
I was on the call the other night.
Yes.
The person that you didn't know.
Yes.
I feel like I am definitely that ship anchored in the harbor. And I'm kind of new at this. So I'm wondering, like, as a new coach, what do you think is the most important thing to be doing right away? Because I'm a little overwhelmed.
Yeah. And it's easy to get overwhelmed in the beginning, because like Beachbody actually has like the best training out of any network marketing company, like the best online training, and our team has training. You know, my website has 60 Coach Basics videos you can go through. It has Star Diamond videos you can go through in my blog. So there's all this training, so it can be overwhelming. But the thing I talked about on, I think it was 2 weeks ago, on how to use Facebook is a perfect way to get started on your business. And basically what it was, if you're overwhelmed, is worry later about getting your systems in place.
Okay.
But right now, I think the reason I was able to just take off and run is, you know, I love challenge groups. I love helping people through the challenge groups. But when I started, those didn't exist. We actually kind of created those, Lindsay, Katie Hefner, Shay, and I, all in the beginning. And so really it was like I just used a notebook like I use now. And so all I did was I invited people to start their journey, and then I just followed up with them. Hey, how are you doing on a weekly basis? How are you doing on your P90X? So I didn't worry about any of these systems. All I worried about was getting somebody a link or finding out what they wanted, giving them a solution. They buy it, and then I would just follow up. Hey, how are you doing on week 3 of P90X? You know, and then the next week, you doing on week 4 of P90X. And so I didn't worry about all the systems. All I worried about was what Carl wants us to really focus on is getting people results.
Okay.
So first get that on your mind. Don't worry about all the systems and all the technicality of this coach here, all this coach placement, all the compensation.
Okay, because it's in the website and the blog, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, don't worry about
I work.
Just worry about.
I'm doing this all at night because I work full time.
Yeah, just worry about getting people results right now. And the best way to get started is with your personal Facebook page, your regular page. And here's the easiest steps to do. Do your workout, post about it. Some kind of accountability. Put your face in there. Even if you're not used to selfies, get your family included. And your personal development, and then teach it on Facebook.
Okay.
And the third one is reach out to 2 to 5 people a day and just start having a conversation with them, build a relationship with them.
Just reaching out to them, just saying, how are you doing?
Yep. And then
not even mentioning anything.
Yeah. Just mention it when they ask you, what are you up to? Like, you're asking about them. How are you doing? Do you still go to school, or are you working? You're asking them. And then whenever they would ask me, I wouldn't say I work at Idaho Steel as a manual writer and I run the service department. They'd be like, what do you do? I was like, I got 3 kids now. My wife's working in the evening, and I'm a health and fitness coach helping people with P90X and Insanity. I didn't tell them that I wrote service manuals at Idaho Steel. And they're like, oh, cool. How does that work? Or what is that? And then that's where it opened me up to introduce them to what it was that I do.
Okay.
And I kind of used a very indirect approach where I'd be like, hey, watch this 2-minute video or watch this 10-minute video. It kind of explains what I do. I don't know if it's for you, but maybe you know somebody that would like to work with me on this.
Okay.
Because it's kind of a thing in their mind. They're like, hey, what do you mean it's not for me? Right? Instead of you trying to convince them. So it's just very casual like that. That's what I did.
Okay.
So, and that's the best way to get started. Just like Jay is doing right now.
Yes.
13 coaches. He has no system. He's working on his challenge group and putting that together, but he doesn't have a coach training system together yet or anything like that. Yet he signed 13 coaches, and pretty much, literally, if he signed 2 more coaches tomorrow and put them under one of his parents, he could be. It's like a diamond in 7 days.
Wow.
Right, without any systems in place. That's basically what he's doing in that aspect. So it's not worrying about all of that, knowing that you have the rest of your.
Welcome to greenbutton.co.
I don't know what that is. Okay. So those are some easy steps to get started right now.
Great. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Anybody else have some questions? Yes, looks like Christine. There you go. I can hear you.
Can you? Okay. Hi.
Hello.
This is my second call on here, so thanks. My question is, I'm a new coach too, just like 2 months. So I just completed yesterday my first free challenge. I did a clean eating challenge. I had 30 participants, and in my last day of my challenge, I introduced my next challenge, which was like a 21-day fixed challenge. Anyways, everybody was super pumped. Oh my God, I'm in. So yesterday I spent my day getting back to them, and it's like, as soon as they find out they have to pay now, it's like, what? I want free. So is there something that, I don't know, maybe a book or something you could recommend about how to overcome, I know I've been working on digging deeper in with them and finding out their whys, but it was like, I don't know, I was just so, I went home last night after work, I was like, oh my God, all these people went in, that's amazing, I'm gonna have an incredible night. And by the time the night was over, I was drinking wine, because I was just like, really? Nobody wants in because they have to pay?
Yeah.
So that was kind of my big disappointment last night, and I think maybe there's something I'm missing that you could recommend, training?
Yeah, I want to ask you a question, then I'm going to have one of these 2 guys answer that for
Okay.
you. How long from when you heard about Beachbody or getting a chicken pack or becoming a coach, how long did it take you? I'm just curious.
Did it take me? Well, mine was kind of a different, Terry Fisher is my coach.
Okay, yes.
He kind of put an ad on, and everything on that ad, I answered yes to everything that he was asking on the ad. And it just spoke to me where I was in that time of my life 2 months ago. I was like, yes. Okay, I know this is an ad, but I'm so responding because he's talking to me. So literally, I signed up that night when I talked to him. So for me, it was very different than I think most people's. Yeah.
So he spoke to you through his wording. Man, I need to learn from him on how to. I tried something.
Yeah, honestly, it was totally his ad.
So Christine, So he spoke to you on the phone. The ad connected with you.
Yes.
So the ad pretty much added all the value you needed.
Yes.
Because you're like, yes, I need that. Yes, I need that. Yes, I need that. So you saw the value previously, and then you got on the phone with him, which added an extra personal touch. So these people that wanted to go from the free eating challenge to the 21-day challenge, did you get on the phone with them and talk to them?
I did not. I messaged all of them.
Uh-huh.
Is that my mistake?
I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but one thing I do is anybody, whenever they say, hey, I want in, whether it's coaching or the 21-day fix challenge or whatever, I say, awesome, I'm so excited that you want to join. Could you shoot me a text and we'll plan in the next, like if I did that today, I would say, could you shoot me a text? If I was doing this, let's say I have 20 people that respond or 10. I would write them all the same copy and pasted message. It's just hey,
yeah, I did that on Facebook, copy and paste.
Yeah, I would do. I'm super excited that you want to join this challenge. What I need to do, we need to talk on the phone for 10 minutes and make sure this is going to work for you. Could you respond to this text with the times that you're free between today and tomorrow evening, and we'll plan the time. And then I get on the phone with them. And in all honesty, I can probably, when I Facebook message I could probably only close 1 out of 10 that come to me like that on Facebook.
Okay.
Some of them may come through like 3 months later because they see the value I add on Facebook daily or on my videos. And then they come eventually. But if I can get them on the phone, it's like a 70% close.
Okay.
Each
So that's what
you that signed up will know that I got on the phone with them, and it probably sealed the deal for most of them. I know some of them on here that I'm looking at have shared that. So that's what I would do with them as well. I would get on the phone with them. Is it?
Okay. Thank you.
So, and then another question is, it's going to be a fight between these two military guys, Jay or Barton. Do you want to answer her question as far as on the messaging end? What you've seen when someone says they're interested, what do you say or what do you do to add that extra value? Or what if they say, yes, I'm in, and then you tell them about it and then they're gone?
So I'll take it, Jay. I won. So Christine, what I would recommend or what I would have done is you have these people in your free group for a while. And for that week or two, however many days that ran, you were able to see their strengths. And you could see those that were leading that group versus those that were following.
Yes.
Those leaders are the ones that I'd recommend that you target, for lack of better words.
Those people that I noticed were the leaders, were the people who actually said, I'm in on your next challenge.
So then I would go back to their posts that they made those past 7 days or however many days and look for the key things that they mentioned in their life or good things that you could key upon to help take them to that next level. I mean, there's got to be some golden nuggets in there where you can reach back to them, and it's not about the price. I mean, ultimately, when someone has a concern about the price, I simply say, let's get you started, and then if you like it, if you choose to keep it, then we can talk about how you can get this for free. And that, of course, is building them. But I also always ensure that I say 30 days. You don't like it, send it back.
Do you say that? Yeah.
Send it back.
Okay.
And between those two, helping them prepare to build or reminding them, you don't like it, send it back. It's free. Between those two, how can they say no is what I think.
I guess I was always afraid to offer the 30-day money-back guarantee.
And that is where I'd say on your personal level, that's kind of where you went wrong. Never be scared of anything.
Yeah.
They can't hurt you. They won't hurt you.
Yeah. Thanks, Barton.
No problem.
Thanks, Scotty.
Okay, you're welcome.
I have a slightly different approach to the challenge group. I have 30 people starting on Monday with mine. So basically I've got a lot of those that have rolled over my last challenge group, about 12 that just finished with me. And then I recruited like another 13. And then I've got about 5 people that don't even have a program. They just want to be there for accountability. In my opinion, if you expose them to the product and they see everybody else getting results, then they might be more apt to purchase from you. I don't want to turn anybody away. If they can get something of value out of it, eventually I think they will come to me later and appreciate that. So that's my approach. And so
That's a good point.
I wanted to share that. So
Thank you.
And I agree with that on Jay. I can say there's a lot of coaches that say, if you're not buying, you're not in. I disagree with that 100%. Be there for their service. As long as you're serving them, eventually they'll come around. Scotty is one that he bought the programs and he burnt them. He was using them illegally. I too was doing the Chinese-based buying off Craigslist type purchases when I started. So going for the person that wants the opportunity, no matter how they're going to do it, is better served.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that comes back to making sure people get results no matter how, that they get results. That's how it was. It was 8 months where I was doing the workouts and I never bought anything from Lindsay. And she never showed anything she never kept me out of any groups or refused to answer my messages or anything like that. I never saw a shift in how she felt towards me because I wouldn't buy from her. And heck, there was even a promotion. You know how we have challenge pack promotions? There was a promotion where you could sign up waive the sign up fee. Like you could just sign up as a coach for $0. You could go enroll as a coach and pay absolutely nothing. And she called me. She's like, hey, you can sign up as a coach. I know you've been concerned about if you could make that $40 back, and so it's absolutely free today. And I was like, oh no, thanks. I'm still a little bit worried about that $15.95 a month fee that I'll have. So that's the thing is she kept going forward. She just kept doing what she was doing. She was clear on her purpose and her mission of what she was going to do as a coach as well. So yes, great feedback. So anybody else? Let's do 5 more minutes and then I got to go to band. Lacey.
I have a question.
Oh, who was that? Who do we have?
Misty.
Oh, hello.
Hey. Okay. So my question is, Barton and Jay, they have the military background. They have everyone, who they come in contact to, they share with. I became a stay-at-home mom, and my daughter has a sensory disorder. So going out in public was really hard. So I turned into pretty much a hermit crab. So the people I come in contact to is the clerk at the grocery store. How you say to share it with anyone you come in contact to. It's a little awkward. Hey man, you got my pineapple there. So I just. How do you share it with, people that you're not coming in contact to on a regular basis, just random?
Just random people. So I got to relate with you first of all. I'll share this one first of all. I was a hermit as well. I've shared a story that most people, if you looked at me before Beachbody, before I did P90X, they would look at me and say that Scotty guy could never be a coach. That's why I say you got to talk to everybody, because I was the guy that was super shy. I left for work at 5 o'clock in the morning. I got home at 5. I didn't come out of the house. I put the kids to bed at 8. I cracked open the tall boy and I played Call of Duty. Right? Does that sound like an ideal Beachbody coach?
No.
Yeah, you'd be like, that guy, I'm not going to even talk to him. He wouldn't be a good coach. He couldn't do this. So it's important that you do give everybody the chance to know what you have and what they can do. So it'll just take practice, just like anything. And I can say, even though I was a hermit at that time, I did all of mine on Facebook, 100% on Facebook. I did meet people when I'd run to Walmart or, the people that I could talk to at work, the 20 people that were up in the offices with me or whatever. But those 20 people run out fast, and all 20 are no's, obviously. Or for the most part, they were for me. They're like, no thanks. So the important thing is to just know that you have something good to offer people. Mm-hmm. So I would use kind of what was mentioned on the last question is just start a conversation. How long have you worked here? Do you have a family? Just make a normal conversation. Ask how long they've worked there. Just ask genuine questions. You may or you may not get to an invite. It doesn't matter if you do or not.
I have no issue with the challenge group things. I love to work out and I love to help people. It's awesome. It's the coaching aspect that I'm oh, hey, super awkward about.
Okay, so I think that's just a mindset type of thing that you can get through. And here's the thing, like, I think sometimes because everyone on this call, you're on this call because you want to build pretty much a full-time business, right? That's why you're on the call. You're not a discount coach. You're not just doing this for fun or for a hobby. You're serious about making this your career, right? So we have in our mind, because this is how I was as well, you look at every person you talk to as if they have to be that same person as you. That they have to be an all-in, full-time coach, 100%. And the fact of the matter is, I could go out and talk to 50 people, and maybe I'll find one person that's all in like me. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that all 50 of those people, if they drink Shakeology, if they do their workout, if they listen to personal development, and if they surround themselves with good people, like every single one of you guys, their life will improve. So that's why I'm going to introduce them to Beachbody, and that's what I'm going to sell them on. I'm not going to sell them on paying off their house or paying off their credit cards or building a full-time business, because most people don't have that initial initiative to do that or the belief that they can do that because their mind's trained that they're supposed to work for somebody, get a paycheck. So it's going to be hard to convince people on that level. So I just talk to them in the fact of how Beachbody is going to change their life if they're a coach. And you know, the coach for them means you are a part of Team Beachbody. You're a part of our family of people that are striving to better their life through health and fitness and personal development and positive relationships. And that, hey, you can refer it to people as well, and you can help other people. Nothing to do with how much money they can make. Just like Jennifer in the beginning, $50. Hey, you know, if you shared this with one person, you could make $50. So it's not looking at everybody as you are, as this coach that's going to Summit, you know, as a brand new coach and inviting your friends to go and wanting to do this full time, and looking at everybody on how their life can benefit just through being a Team Beachbody coach. I think when you can get in your mindset and know without a doubt that that's possible for them, that their life will improve, then it'll be much more comfortable saying, hey, you know, hey, you say you're stressed out. You know, and then you can say, I know that by being a part of Team Beachbody, being a coach, that, you know, I have less stress because I'm working out and I'm eating better and I'm surrounded by positive people, and I'm just, you know, and then you can connect with them on that level. And then you can just totally give them an invite. Like I believe that if you're a coach, if you join our family of coaches, that, you know, we can help you get rid of that stress in the next 3 months. Help you learn how to focus on positive things instead of these things that are creating your stress. You know, asking them, what creates your stress? What is it? And you learn, and then you teach them, you know, hey, this is how you could get rid of that stress. And then there you have a coach, you have a member of your team. Does that help you kind of understand?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So like to give you an example, one of my most recent coaches in Idaho Falls in my local area, he is recently going through a divorce, and he knows right now, like he straight up told me, he knows he's not mentally ready to lead other people, to build a business of helping other people. He just wants to be a part of Team Beachbody, to have good friends and to start living a healthier lifestyle. And that's why he's a coach.
Awesome. Okay.
You know, so he's not even in it to make any money right now. He's not in it to build a team. He's not in it to run challenge groups. He's in it to have friends like, I see Josh Holt here. So Josh and I are both Idaho Falls. He's here to come hang out with Josh and me and Scott Gutke and the other local coaches, and just have good friends that are not going to, you know, convince him to do bad things or help him spiral down even more as he's going through the divorce. Have good friends. So he's a coach for that reason right now.
Okay.
And then as we help him live a better lifestyle, then he's going to grow as a person. And then we can say, hey, dude, you are doing awesome. You can inspire people now with what you've gone through. And so it's just a longer process for him. But, you know, he's a coach. So
awesome. Okay.
Hey, it is 8:03. I don't want to keep you guys too long because I want you guys to go out and to unleash, or whatever you call it, the ropes from that dock and get your ship sailing. You know, get out there in the waves, out in the rough seas, because that's what you guys were designed to do. I just want to say that I appreciate you guys, and thank you for getting on the call today. I may have to trick you more often that you have something that's not recorded, because I like to see your smiling faces, right? So remember, go get that DVD though, because it's going to help you become more confident in inviting people to join your business and to join your team as a Beachbody coach as well. But I want you guys to know that Gabby and I, we love you guys. Life is busy, but I'm still clear on my focus as a Beachbody coach and will always be. But as much as I wish I could go to each of your houses and just say, like, okay, where's your list? Let me message them for you. Let me show you how to do this. I wish I could do that. But you guys got to do that because it's going to be your personality. It's going to be you that they connect with. And I know that you guys can do it. And feel free to, just like you guys ask questions today, ask those questions in the team page. And if you're a new coach or an older coach and you know the answer, help that new coach out. Let's work together as a team because that's what I want us to stand for is a team that works together. Because I can't go out to 28,000 of you guys' homes and do that for you guys. I want you guys, us all to work together in those aspects. So thumbs up if we can do that, if we can work on raising our standards, turning our shoulds into musts, and set and sail. Let's do it. Okay, we'll see you guys later.